Hey, this is Jill Hope with I Shine Wealth. And it's not the weekend yet, but we don't have to wait for the weekend to thrive. And that's why we're going to thrive on Thursday with the topic that I've got for you this week. So there is a question that I get constantly, whether it's from someone that I've been coaching for a long time, or it's people in different groups that I'm running, or it's someone that I'm just speaking with for the first time. But they always ask some version of, what do I have to do? How do I create this dream I want? How do I make more money in my business? How do I get my dream home? How do I do this? So I want to share a simple 4-step process that you can do. It's the same process, whether you're using it and applying it to your business, whether you're using it to apply it to a big goal you have, whether it's a short-term goal, like maybe you've got a medical procedure coming up and you want to make sure you get a good result, or it's something longer term, like next year, you want to move into your dream home and you want to sell your home and that sort of thing. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the same 4 steps. And I'm going to show you that today. So how do you make more money and achieve your dreams simply, easily? How do we do it, Jill? Step 1, you got to see the vision. Got to see a clear vision. This is so essential that in the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill said that desire is the first step to creating riches. You have to know what you want. You have to be able to see it. Now, some people don't visualize by seeing. Some people just feel it, or they can describe it, or they know what it sounds like. So any of those is fine. You don't have to literally see the picture in your mind. But when you create a vision, whether it's on paper or it's in your heart, knowing what you want is the first step to getting you on the path to creating it. It's kind of like the analogy that I like to use with the GPS in a car. So let's say you're in New York and you want to drive to California. Well, you have to put in your destination in order to get the next steps, right? You're not going to get out of your driveway. At least according to your GPS, it will not give you any directions or any steps in how to move forward if you don't at least know where you want to go. You must know where you want to go to be able to get there. So creating a clear vision, seeing the vision is so important in creating what you want. And this might sound pretty obvious to you. Like, well, yeah, Joe, that's like, duh. I know what I want, right? But honestly, so many people are not clear on what they want, or what they actually want is what other people have told them they should want, or what other people want for them, or what they think they're good enough to have, or what they think is possible for them to achieve. And it's not really the actual true heart and soul vision that they desire. So it's really important that you get in touch with what is it that you want. What does your heart desire? What do you crave to experience in this lifetime? This is such an important question that I actually spent an entire year with one simple question, which for me was, what does Jill want? I had so much conditioning and so many rules that were layered upon what I really wanted for myself that I couldn't even really see it. I wasn't really in touch with what my authentic self desired. So it's really important to do some work around, what is my vision? What do I desire? Get really clear on what it is, why you want it, and what it feels like. So that's step 1 to creating what you want, that beautiful vision, that more money, whatever it is that you want to experience a greater sense of expansion and fulfillment in your life. Step 2 is to make the decision. Make the decision. Do you know how many people can see a desire? They know in their heart what they want, but they never actually decide to get it, to receive it. You have to make the decision to receive it if you want to receive it. Instead, what many people do, and we were conditioned to do this, most of us, is that in order for you to make the decision to go ahead and go and make that happen for yourself, we have to satisfy a bunch of conditions. Well, I've got to have enough money to do that. And then I've got to make sure the kids are grown up and out of the house to do that. And then I've got to make sure I lose 10 pounds in order for me to do that. And we layer all these conditions on what we want. And we say, these things have to happen first, and then I'll make the decision. But it doesn't work that way. So this is a major reason why you might not have what you want yet. You have got to make the decision. You have got to put the stake in the ground and say, I don't know how I'm getting there, but I'm doing this. There is an energy. You can feel this energy. In fact, tune into this with me for a moment. Think about one thing that you don't have right now in your life that you really, really want. Just come up with that one thing. And now think about how it feels if to say, I am creating that and I'm creating it now. I'm going for that thing right now. Just have that thought and feel what that's like in your body. Is it scary? Does it feel like, well, wait a minute, do you have a lot of buts that come after that? Yeah, but what most of us do is we say, this is what I want. And as soon as I do X, Y, Z, I'm going to do it. Well, that is a totally different energy from, oh, I'm doing this and I'm moving towards it now. One has all kinds of energy behind it. The energy to bring in the opportunities, the energy to move you along your path, the energy to put you in that groove where synchronicities show up, where things start to flow with ease and grace. And the other one is just a wish. There's no power there. It's just a wish. So we've got to make the decision. And why do so many people not make the actual decision? Why do they hesitate to decide? Because there's a question they want answered first. And you know what that question is? How? How am I going to be able to do that? They don't want to decide until they know exactly how that's going to happen. Well, going back to our GPS analogy, if you want to go to California and you're sitting in your car in your garage in New York, and you're wondering, well, how am I going to get there? The GPS is not going to give you any steps until you start moving forward. You have to actually say, okay, I'm leaving now. You've got to turn the ignition on in the car, and you've got to put your foot on the gas pedal, and you've got to move forward. And once you do that, once you start, then the next step comes to you. And you don't even get all the steps in a row. You hear the one step, right? And when you make that left turn at the stoplight, then you get the next step. But you don't see the full picture. And there's a reason for that. When you think about taking a driving trip somewhere, you could map out in advance the whole path, but things change along the road, don't they? There might be an accident, and so you get rerouted. There might be a weather issue, and you get rerouted, right? Things come up on the journey. So the whole path isn't necessarily known. You'll get there, but in order for you to get there, you have to keep moving forward. And so that is step 3. It's take the best next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Because you're never going to know what all those steps are in advance. Why? Because you've never created this thing before. If you knew how to create it, you'd have it now. The fact that you can register that you desire something, but not actually have it show up, means that there's some things that need to happen in order to bring that into your reality. And a lot of times the things that need to happen are you need to grow. That you need to grow into the person that can receive that thing. And so a lot of the steps along the way require growth. And growth feels scary, and growth pushes your edges. It feels like a stretch. It's not comfortable. Growth is not comfortable. But we must grow in order to expand our experience. There's no other way. And that requires saying yes to the steps and the opportunities as they show up. So why don't we take this step 3? Because it's scary. Number 1, we have a lot of fear over doing things. It's different than what we've ever done before. We don't feel that we have what it takes to take that next step, right? Because you probably are not fully developed, or you would be doing that next step all the time. So you're probably not fully developed in that. That is really scary. That makes us doubt ourselves. That makes us question ourselves. And those doubts and those questions, where do those come from? They come from old conditioned beliefs. They come from your core wound. They come from things that people told you in the past about what was possible for you. And they come from yourself experiencing failures in the past and making that mean something about what you can and cannot do. But none of that stuff is the truth about you. But if you listen to those voices, you will not take those steps forward that you need to take. You will not feel empowered to step out of the box you're living in and do something that's outside your comfort zone and stretch yourself a little bit. That is an absolute and essential requirement in order to get where you want to go, to get that thing that's on the other side of your current reality. You must stretch yourself. You must take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step as they show up. You see, the minute that you have a desire and make the decision to have it, opportunities instantly start to show up in your awareness. And any of these opportunities can get you moving in that direction, but you must say yes. It requires a lot of trust. It requires not listening to the voices that tell you why you can't and how you can't and how you're not good enough and how you don't have what it takes. It requires that we listen to another voice, the voice that's connected to our desire, the voice that's connected to our purpose, and the voice that's connected to God. So we've got to listen to that voice, and that voice is going to present us with opportunities that feel a little like, I don't know if I can do that. But if you don't make the choice to take that step to move forward, you don't get to get on that path. You don't get to finish the journey. You don't get what you want. You know, a lot of times we'll tell ourselves lies that, well, if I just want it bad enough, I'll get what I want eventually. And that is not true. If you don't do what it takes and grow to the place where you can bring that in easily, it can't come in. It defies all odds. It cannot come in that way. There's no alignment there. So you must take that next step. That's step 3. Now, step number 4 is be committed to the outcome, not to the way. Be committed to the outcome, but not to the way. So again, this is something that so many people have backwards. We think that we get committed to the way or the how, but we're ever so willing to settle for less than what we really want, to not be fully committed to our outcome, to choose the good enough, This is good enough. Is it really? Is that what speaks to your purpose? Is that what speaks to your heart and soul? The good enough? Probably not. Probably not if you're a big, bold thinker and you see more for yourself and you want more for yourself and your family. Good enough is not good enough. And it doesn't have to be either. That's the key. So when I say be committed to the outcome and not the way, what I mean is don't compromise on what you want. Stay strong on what you want. You're the only one that can stake a claim for what you want. Nobody else will do that for you or can do that for you. It's got to be you. But the way, the path to get there is in flux. The path to get there, in my experience, almost always has looked different than what I thought it would look. If I stayed committed to how I thought this thing was going to happen and just followed, XYZ strategy or whatever to create what I want, and if I got thrown off my course if something didn't work there and thought, well, now it's not going to happen, which I did many times, by the way, until I learned, well, then I would stop. I would settle in my desire, which I did every single time for years. I made my desire smaller and a lot less than I really wanted because that's what was showing up for me. And because I was so committed to the path, I thought, well, this must be all I can get. But when you let go of the path and you don't judge whether what you're doing works the way you think it's going to work, and you stay committed to that bigger dream, the craziest thing happens. You start seeing the manifestation of that, but it comes in many different forms and in many different ways. I can't tell you how many times I have promoted a program, gone all out because it felt like this is the right next step. And I would do the program and it wouldn't really take, I'd maybe get a few people there, but it wasn't going to fulfill my bigger dream. And when I finally realized that I need to let go of the way and just trust and hang on to my desire, every single time I would have a person reach out or someone would connect me with someone that would become the client that would get me to the next level I wanted to go in my business. Every single time. Every single time. So now I just do what my heart says to do, what my intuition is guiding me to do, whatever feels like the right next step. I follow the opportunities that show up and I don't judge any of it. At least I'm trying really hard not to, because I know that when I can let go of how it looks as I am moving toward my dream and just stay firm on what I want, I achieve it every single time. So step 4, be committed to the outcome. Do not surrender your vision to something less than you want. Be committed to that, but surrender the way. The way is not your job. The how is not your job. Only knowing what you want and staying firmly committed to it and decisive around having it now, that is how you can create it. So again, the 4-step process, to quickly summarize, to make more money in your purpose-driven business or have that dream home or live whatever the dream is that you have, the 4-step process is: step 1, see the vision. Step 2, make the decision. Step 3, take the next best step, and then the next best step, and then the next best step, and don't stop till you get there. And then step 4, be committed to the outcome, but not to the way. So here's another thing you need to know. Now that I've shared these steps with you, knowing what they are, knowing them on an intellectual level is great, but it does not equal being able to do this in practice. And in fact, most of the time, you will not be successful. Why is that? Is it because I'm Debbie Downer and I'm sharing that with you? No, I want everyone to be successful, but I know from dealing with myself all these years, as well as working with so many clients, is that when you are left to your own devices, you can't always see how the decisions that you're making are actually not aligned with these 4 steps at all. You can't see it because you're in it. And that is what makes it very hard for someone to just take intellectual information and be able to integrate it and apply it and embody it in their lives. It takes something more to be able to do that integration piece and to really step into and embody these steps and follow that path and put it into action. You see, you need to put these new ideas into the right soil to ensure that they can take root and become fruitful in your business and financial results and your dreams, your goals. It requires the right environment. And so that's why I invite you to have a conversation with me. Let's look at what are you desiring in your business, or what is your big dream, and what is getting in the way, so that I can see where you want to put your focus so that you can move through these pitfalls that I'm talking about and get through to the other side to experiencing the outcome you desire. So if you want to do that, I have opened up spots to meet with me in a special session called the Make More Money Now Clarity Call. This is a free complimentary session. I'm going to be starting to charge for these soon, but right now I'm waiving all fees on this, and I just want to make it available to you. But it's a high value session where you're going to get really clear on what it is that you want, which is step 1, right? And where along the path of these other steps are you getting stuck? so that you can be focused when you are making shifts and changes that will make a difference in your results. And that's the key. If you don't do anything different, you can't possibly get new results. So you want to start doing something different as you are working in your day to day. So the purpose of the call is to help you see what can you change so that it actually makes a difference in your life. So if you're interested in having one of these calls with me, I invite you to schedule that. You can do that by going to ishinekids.com/moneyclarity.html. You have to have the .html on the end of that, yes. So it's ishinekids.com/moneyclarity.html. The link is down below as well. Just go there, follow the steps, and I will meet you on the other side, and we'll see what's getting in your way so you can move towards your dreams. So I hope this has been helpful today to share these 4 steps. I could talk about this topic all day. There's so much here, and there's so many ways that we get stuck in our old patterns and in our wounds and in our limiting beliefs, and it doesn't have to be that way. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to speaking with you if you feel called to get on a session with me and have a clarity call about your dreams. So until then, take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.